Hi, welcome to Gigat's Country Kitchen. And we're going to whip up a little quick dish that you can make for breakfast. We all know oatmeal is a hearty, good breakfast, but we're going to spice some oatmeal up, and I'm going to show you a real simple, easy way to do it where it does not take you too long and you can have an absolute delicious breakfast. This is a apple cinnamon pecan oatmeal with maple syrup, and we're going to have pecans toasted in the maple syrup as well, and it takes no time to make. So with our ingredients today for the oatmeal, this is for about 2 to 3 people, depending if you have a child or not. 2 adults, 1 child, but you can double this recipe at however you would like. But I have a cup and a half of oats. I have 3 cups of water. We'll be putting a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of salt. I have about 3/4 cup of this chunky applesauce. Now make sure you buy the chunky applesauce, or you can even, cook your own apples down. But this just gives it a little more texture to it, and you can find those pieces of apple in it. It's so good if you've not tried that. We're going to have in the oatmeal itself a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup, and then we're going to have 2 tablespoons of butter. So we'll start putting that part together, and then we'll toast our pecans as well. So I have a medium pot here that we'll be using. Let's see here. Okay. We're going to cut this up so it can boil. And we're going to put our water in it. And this is 3 cups of water. Okay. Whoop. All right. And then to that, we're going to go ahead and add our half of a teaspoon of salt. And in all of our videos, I always make sure and put you the full recipe in all in the description that gives you details of everything that you need to do. So you can go look at any of our videos and you will find that full recipe right there for you to make it a little easier. So you don't have to sit and try to write it all down right now. All right, I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And that's to taste. If you don't love cinnamon, you don't even have to have it in there. But it's really good to just give that little apple pie flavoring to this oatmeal. And that's what we're really looking for, is that apple pie flavoring. Okay? So we have our salt, our cinnamon, and our water added in the pot now, and I'm going to add our butter. Okay, we're going to put 2 tablespoons around about, give or take, of butter in there. That may be a little less than 2 tablespoons, but that'll work. Just to your taste. We'll add some more to it when it's all done anyway. You got to have a little pat of butter right in the middle of it so you have that little melted butter spot that just makes oatmeal so great. So we're going to let this come up to a boil. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and work on our pecans. Okay? And what we're going to do, I just went ahead and I got these chopped pecans instead of you having to chop them yourself or break them up. A lot of times I'll get the whole pecans or fresh pecans and I'll just put them in a plastic bag and beat them with a spoon. But you want a little bit of texture to them. You don't want them just ground up too much. But we are just going to use these to sprinkle on top of our oatmeal when we get it done. So let's see here. We're going to take and get about a half a cup of pecans. Well, let me get some butter going first in our pan. Okay. Let's see here. Alrighty. And have to search here where I put everything. We're just going to get about another good tablespoon, 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon of butter, just enough to really coat the bottom of the pan where we're going to toast our pecans, and then we're going to add maple syrup to them. So we will let that melt. And you know, it's quick and easy to make seasoned pecans. If you've never done that, it's a simple process. It's really just make some good tasting pecans, nuts, walnuts, whatever it is you like. You know, heat them up, put a little butter in your seasonings, and it's always good to have like a stickiness to it, like a corn maple syrup or honey or something like that. So we've got those melted. And I'm going to put about 1/3 of a cup of pecans in there for this serving amount here. And we want them to heat up so that the flavors will come out in the pecans. Since those are chopped a little bit, I may put just a tad more. We might go with that full half, because that just didn't look like enough. Okay, the water's starting to come up here. We're going to let these slowly heat up. I've got these cut down a little bit where they can absorb the butter and just heat up and let the good taste of those pecans start coming out, because they have oils in them, and when they are heating up, those oils bring out those flavors of the pecan. All right, our pot is starting to boil here with our oats. Now we're going to add 1.5 cups of oatmeal and just stir that in. And then you want to cut this down once it starts to boil again. You want to cut it down, and we're just going to let it simmer for 10 minutes. Okay, let me get it going again while our pecans are heating up. You see it starting to boil. Okay, let me get it up to a good little boil here. And then we're going to cut this down and just let it simmer. Alrighty. And if it starts boiling up and it looks like it's going to come over the top of your pot, just cut your eye down, stir it a little bit, and once you get to the point where you know that it's not going to boil over and boil up and raise up too much, you know you've got it at the right temperature. Okay, these pecans are heating up good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give a drizzle of maple syrup on these pecans. And this is just a pure 100% maple syrup. And I'm just going to give just about a tablespoon, give or take to your liking. And we're just going to let that cook a minute, thicken up and caramelize on the pecans. Alrighty. Oh, they smell so good. Just can't beat that. Pecans and maple syrup and butter. There's just something about that that says, oh, so good. Just going to let that thicken, and our oatmeal is doing great. We're going to let this cook for a few minutes, and then we're going to add in that chunky applesauce. And then right before it's done, we're going to put the maple syrup in it to sweeten it with. Now that's your choice. You do not have to add that much sweetener to it. You know, it's just how you like it. But you can see these nuts are getting about ready. That syrup is all over these pecans. Let them cook for just a few more minutes, and then we're going to let them set and cool while we finish our oatmeal. It doesn't take no time for this, and this meal is something that is so good to, you know, when you have company or even a quick, you know, breakfast, you want something really yummy, you just need something quick and easy. This is your go-to breakfast. This one will help you. And we're just going to let this now sit and cool so that we can put on top of our oatmeal when we get our oatmeal done. Okay, so we're just going to set that right there and just let that cool. See how beautiful they are? And let's work on these oats now. Get this hair out of the way. You see they're thickening up. And it takes about 10 minutes. It's a give or take, 8 to 10 minutes for your oats. And these are a whole rolled oats, an organic one. I like the Bob's Mills. I also love there's one that's a sprouted oats. It works great for this recipe as well. But you see they're thickening up and how we've got it just simmering to a good steady boil. And that's what we want. Now remember, we have in this pot right now, we have our butter, our cinnamon, our salt, and our water. And you can use milk if you prefer, but I like to have milk on top of mine and just to be able to eat with my oats around, just pour it on top after they're done. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our chunky applesauce. Okay, and this is cool. It's been in the refrigerator, so you know it may stop your boil a second, but that's okay. Once oatmeal it really gets into a liquid, it just starts, you know, taking it in and softening. So it doesn't take no time for oats to cook. They are a quick, easy breakfast and inexpensive. Some of the, you know, some brands are more expensive than others, but even Quaker Oats, what have you, you know, a little bit goes a long way. So a half a cup of your oats is going to make you a cup of your dried oats will make you at least a cup of your cooked oats. Look how beautiful that is coming together. Let that get to cooking a little bit longer. And depending how thick you like your oats, and as they cool, they'll thicken up even more. You know, that's where that 8 to 10 minutes will come in at. Okay. All right, we're going to just let them heat up really good. And the reason I don't like to put the maple syrup in it right from the beginning when I first start cooking them is I don't like the oats to get too sticky. I want them to, you know, really cook and have a texture all to themselves. And then you throw in those apples and then the maple syrup. Okay? Almost done. All right. Let's just move this right over here on this one. Cut this off here. Make sure we got it off. Okay. All right. I'm going to clean this up a second. And then, oh, well, hang on. We don't have our syrup in there yet. I got a 1/4 cup of maple syrup we're going to just add right in here. And boy, does that just give it a wonderful flavor that I think you will really enjoy if you love maple syrup and you just love that type of flavor. Look how pretty that is. Got I wished you could see it. There's chunks of apples in it and the beautiful oats and all cooked together with that maple syrup and cinnamon and butter. See them nice big chunks of apple that you find in here? That's why I like that chunky apple butter. All right. Okay. I'll be right back. Let me clean this up and I'm going to show you how to serve it. Okay, we're back. We're going to dip some oatmeal into each bowl here that we got cooked. Good old oatmeal with big old chunks of apples and cinnamon. Ooh, that's so, so good. Actually, depending on how much you like to eat, you may have a big hearty eater, but what have you, you can do at least 3 good servings with this by the time you add the apples in with it. There we go. Okay. And I like to take and put a little more butter just if you want the naughtiness. You don't have to do that. But we want it to be like an apple pie, and an apple pie is pretty naughty. So we'll go with it. All right. Now, this is our nice maple toasted pecans that we made. We're going to sprinkle those right on top. Okay. And I have some little servings of vanilla almond milk in the little cups you see there that I like to put out with my oatmeal as well. And you see that butter, it melts and it just makes a little pocket of butter so that when you go to eat them, you just pour a little bit of this milk and right around it, and it's good to just have that, and you eat a little bit off of it and you pour it a little bit more, and just so it's super nice for everybody to be able to put it how they want it on there. And so I just serve it to the side. And I love this brand right here because it's so rich and creamy. It's just great, got a great flavor to it. So, and if you need a little extra sweetener, which I don't think you will, because we put that 1/4 cup of maple syrup, remember, in our oats, and we have maple syrup on our pecans. So it's pretty, it's got a good sweetness to it. Most kids love this. And, spruce it up how you like it. But this is a quick, simple, easy. Takes about altogether maybe 15 minutes by the time you get everything out, get the water boiling, but only 10 minutes for your oats to cook. So it's a quick, simple, easy, beautiful breakfast that you can serve with your family. And I just want to thank you so much for just being a part of our channel. And I thank you so much for, sharing and watching. If you will subscribe, if you will just let people know, hey, we have a new person out here making these videos, and just share our information with them. A little bit about me. My name is Tangela. My husband is John. He's over here doing our camera right now. And we love God. We love to share uh, the knowledge and the word of God with others. We love this country. We love our military. We like to stand up and just be a voice of just love and caring for others and doing God's work. And so I hope you'll just join us on this journey as we go along building this channel, and let's do it together. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.